G'day everybody and welcome back. Apologise I haven't been around much lately, but yeah, like normal, there's plenty going on in the background. So what I've got to do is make up some parts for a mate's mulcher machine. The front head oscillates, and this is one of the pins, or was one of the pins out of it. Well worn, it broke, so I made up a quick pin the other day just to keep it going. But there's, on each side, there's two bosses, which I'll take a little film and explain, like show you on the machine how it works. But there's two bosses that float up and down in the main arm that these pins go through, and it just lets the whole head oscillate and float freely. So the measurements, there's no real tolerance on the measurement. The only one that's got to be close is the one that the 40mm pin goes through, and it's also got to have a bit of room to play as well. So I've got to make up two of these. I've done a quick drawing of what I need. They're pretty basic parts, but I've got to wait till I get some 40mm shaft to make up two more pins with grease nipples, grease ports, the whole lot, and some new keepers as well, because this one's broken through here, cracked through here. It's been broken right off at one stage. So that's what we got to do. Quick, easy, simple one really. Okay, so the two bushes we need to make go in here. Now this whole head oscillates, so it just floats up and down. You can see the slot there, hopefully you can see it. So they are normally packed up with washers, shims, whatever, but it's got to have room to float up and down and move around. So I quickly made this pin up the other day because it broke this pin. Quickly made this one up to keep it going, but I've got to make a couple of pins and a couple of these bushes. Certainly not a snug fit. They're well worn, as you can. She's well worn out. Anyway, that's what we're going to go and build two of these to start with. Okay, first bit I want to do is just face this one off. This smaller section has to go down to 63.5, and the larger section, which is only 10mm long, has to go down to 100mm. This section here has got to be 55mm long. It's going to be a little bit I've got to turn off the very end face after it's done. I think I might pop a centre in that because I'm going to take some pretty heavy cuts to get that down. And it's only holding on by about 11mm in the end here, so pop a centre in it just to be on the safe side. So I've got to get a dimension on that, set the DRO and bring it down to 63.5. So 104.26. Quite a lot to come off. That's alright, we've got all day. I'm going to have a bit of a play with speeds and feeds off camera, and then when I get that sorted I'll bring this back. So we're down to 85. I ended up backing the spindle speed off a little bit. It was, yeah, she was taking sort of 3mm off the diameter each time. Didn't want to flog the lathe too hard. So I've just backed the feed rate off, backed the spindle speed off, just to ease it up a little bit. Still breaking a chip, and we've got plenty of it on the floor. So we'll just keep gnawing away at it. I've got some coolant happening, and I've cooled the part down. So we're at 65.85, so I'm going to go straight down to, what do I want? I'll do it in a couple of passes. Absolute crap finish. I'll speed it right up, back the feed off. See if we can improve it on the last cut. Clean up too bad. Considering where it's going to go, it's only going to look pretty for about 3 minutes. 63.49, which is good. So now I can put the 40mm bore through now. Okay, I've got the 30mm spade drill in. We're going to punch that through to start with, and then I'll open it up with a bore and bar. There we go, that's a 30mm hole through there. Probably one of the best tools I made, I think, that spade drill. It's a cracker. And you can measure that and it'll be spot on 30mm. Okay, I've got a 20mm bar set up and I have touched off. I'm just going to double check whether I've got enough clearance. Heaps. So I was going to go to 40.5, but I'm going to go to 40.15. I don't want too much slop in this, otherwise it's going to be a waste of time. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, but anyway, we'll have a go at boring this out. Don't know what speeds and feeds we're going to be like. Not a bad finish. Okay, I'll get a measurement on that. Put that cover back down, like you've probably seen me put this cover down. The chips come out and just spray all over the floor, and there's more crap you got to clean up. You contain it in the lathe a bit better, it's a bit easier. 30.95. Anyway, I will keep marching away at this and get it out to 40.15. And that's at 38.96. I'm going to go for the 40.15. So I'll do this pass and then I'll do a spring pass afterwards. Double check that before I go in for the spring pass. 40.057. I do have a piece of 40mm bar. I'm going to leave it there. I'll double check the measurement on this, but I'm it measures 40mm nominal, which is the same as what I'm using for the pins. We might have already hit the numbers. Okay, so I'm just measuring this bit of 40mm shaft. It's measuring 39.98. I think I'll leave it at that, and if I have to, I'll just run a little bloody emery wheel down the... I can just open it up a fraction with that. If I got 4140 bar coming, 40mm, so if it's spot on 40mm, like it should still be right. I'll leave it at that. Okay, that can come out and be spun around and then machine this bigger diameter and the front face. I'm definitely out of practice on this camera work because I'm down to about 101.89 on this diameter. I thought I'd hit record, but I didn't. I looked up and there was no red light flashing. So you haven't missed much, just taking this down to 100. I was going to go down to about 105, but the original one was 100mm. Okay, that's not a crucial dimension, that one either, so whatever the DRO says, if it says it's 100, it's close enough for me. So now I've got to bring this back. Just get rid of that burr on that corner. Yeah, it's about 8.5mm to take off this face here, so there's a bit to come off. You know, I will get along with doing that. I'm not going to be going too hard on this, simply because it's only holding by a little bit of jaw. But anyway, we'll get it. Oh, there we go, that one's finished. I'll just run a bit of Scotch Brite on that actually. So that one can come out now, and put the other one up and make exactly the same again. So I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. Bit of a clean up before I start boring the guts out. Sort of keep onto it all the time, just makes it heaps easier at the end of the day. A little bit of time you spend here saves you a lot of time in the arvo, I found. That's the second one finished. Okay, it's time to start making some pins. There's enough material here to make two. It's a bit of 4140. So I just want to square the end up, and it's got to have a section on the end turned down to 36 mil, 20 mil long. Plus it's got to have a small counter bore in the end, drilled and tapped for a grease nipple, and the hole's got to be, or drill a hole 90 mil in, and where the grease comes out, the cross hole is only going to be on one side. So I'm going to put a 4 mil hole, 90 mil deep up there now, and then I'll open it up to the 8.5 for the 8th NPT. I really don't know what that camera angle is going to be like, but that's what you got. So I'm going to run this long drill up there, but I'm just going to put a texture mark on it at 90 mil because I haven't got 90 mil of travel in the quill, unfortunately. It's only got short flutes on this drill, as you can see, so it'll be just in and out each. Oh, you sucker. Come off. Back on. Okay, so that's drilled out to 90 mil. Okay, this is probably not best practice, but just got an end mill in. I just want to open it up 12.5 mil deep, and then I'll go in with a bore and bar. Open it up to the final size. So that is probably a rough way of opening the hole up, but it does work. But now I can go in with a 12 mil bore and bar, open it up to the final size, and then drill and tap for the 8th NPT. So it's got to go out to 21.5, 12.5 deep. That there is good enough. That's 12mm deep. I'm not going to go any further than that. Put a chamfer on that and tap it. Okay, so I'm just going to try and start it with the, it's not going to hold, this chuck holds jack shit. It's a crap chuck. Just going to try and start it enough, a couple of turns, and then I'll do it by hand. So there we go, didn't even hold the bastard. Got it in enough to start it. I'll go and grab a tap handle and I'll tap it off. I'll just tap that off camera, it's not worth showing that bit. Righto, we're ready to part this first one off. I'll put a mark there, just text a mark. Just turn some coolant on. We should be right to part it off. There we go. Okay, and the magic of TV, there's one, and just got a chamfer for the end of the second one. So what I've done, I machined both ends and just parted it in half. I will get that, this one here faced off, chamfered, and then move on to the next bit. And there's our second one. Here's the 2 pins. Just got to put them in the mill now and put the cross hole in. We're right to go. Okay, simple setup to drill the cross hole, which has to be 90mm from this end face. This hole's only going halfway through, not all the way. And that is it. Okay, that's the 2 pins complete. I've just got to make up the keepers that will get welded on the end now. Okay, off camera I cut out one of the keepers. They're 80mm centres. So this one's got to have a 36mm hole, and this one's got to have around a 15-16mm hole. I didn't bother showing him cutting these out, it was just cutting and grinding. Just use a cut off wheel on the grinder and cut them out, and then yeah, ground them to shape. So just got to put this through and then get the boring head up and bore it out to 36. So it's interesting to see how this spade bit goes in here. I am always surprised how tough this friggin' insert is, oh. It's just mind blowing. Measure 31.76. We're going to go out to 36, so I will bring you guys back when I'm getting a little closer, I think. Okay, where'd I put my measuring stick? There. 35.99. That's just a bit tweaked. That's it. Probably a fraction loose. Nothing the hot glue gun won't fix. That's that. That's that end done. Now this end here needs a 15mm hole putting in it, I think it is. I'll double check, and then I might as well just do that one while I'm here. I found a drill to do this second hole, and I just used a pointer to pick up on the center punch mark. Now I don't know how good the drill is. It's yet to be seen. But we're going to try and just jam it through and see what happens. Well, there you go, that went through easier than what I thought. I'll go ahead and make the second one off camera. That'll be the mission complete. I do apologise, this last bit's sort of been a bit scattered and time is running out. I'll run around that with a little air deburrer, Get rid of all the burrs and should be good as gold. That's them 2 plates done. So yeah, that's all my bits done. So you can weld them on. Them plates aren't exactly the same. I just cut them out by hand, 5-inch grinder, and yeah, scribe them out, and then yeah, cut them out, ground them up. But they will do the job. So that'll get him out of trouble anyway. Well, there we go. That's all them parts made. I did build these washers off camera. So there's 2 8mm thick ones, 2 10mm thick. Yeah, got the 2 pins made, and the 2 bosses, if you want to call them that, and the 2 keepers to get welded on one of these plates. But he can weld them on. I've done my part, and hopefully I'll get a couple of photos of it when it's all completely back together. Yeah, dunny budgie hanging around. That time of year, I suppose. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. It was a bit of a rush towards the end because I've run out of time and got to go and do some other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Hooroo. Put that bit of bread out for the birds. Bloody old Roo come and ate it. I wonder if he's noticed a bit next to him there. Yeah, he did. Bird nearly got me in the head. Knocked the wind off him.